So John Oliver has been responding to the nomination from Notorious ACB. You know what? I don't even like the nickname, but I like that you hate it.
It's dumb to do it. Gotta do it.
And he tried to make these arguments that there are two situations, there are two factors here that make this nomination just completely unfair. Yeah. And this is an example with John Oliver, and I do think John Oliver can be very funny, an example of John Oliver saying things that are exactly the things that I have been saying, only... I guess he doesn't understand them because he says something. I go, well, yeah, exactly. And then he thinks that makes his case if you just let him say that phrase and didn't let him follow up to justify his case, you would immediately become a conservative. So let me give you an example of that. The first, he says that this is unfair and his claim that Mitch McConnell is determined to confirm judges, and he goes to an example of this is just so you know, this is the most substantial point that I could find in the video as to why it would be unfair to nominate ACB.
And McConnell's willingness to go to the mat for judicial appointments was perhaps never more obvious than during the Kavanaugh hearings, because immediately after Christine Blasey Ford's gut-wrenching testimony, McConnell apparently had this conversation with the president.
Both of them were kind of testing each other a little bit. Where are you at on this? You know, how strong are you? And McConnell basically says to the president, you don't worry about me. I'm strong as mule piss. That's his quote. I'm strong as mule piss.
I love that quote.
In other words, he's not going to let up. He's not going to give up. He's not going to surrender.
Wow. That is extraordinary. Because it's easy to forget that after Blasey Ford's testimony, Kavanaugh's confirmation felt a lot less certain. And to react to what she said with, don't worry, I'm strong as mule piss, is both horrendous and deeply weird.
First off, I think it's deeply awesome. I like when a politician speaks straight from the hip. I like when she says, I don't know what you guys do going down to your old Ebbets Grill in the Beltway Swamp, but here we know a thing or two about moose piss.
So I like it like strong as like the smell of moose piss, like the stream of mule piss.
I'm sure
it is got to be. Excuse me.
I guess they get dehydrated very easily.
That's probably it.
Something about electrolyte imbalance.
It smells very acidic.
But also, keep in mind, he also just said, we felt as though Kavanaugh's confirmation was much more. We felt. Well, no, that's exactly the point. You were saying after Christine Blasey Ford, we felt, and the good thing is, we found out that it was untrue. For example, many people felt disgusted at the idea of Kavanaugh being a gang rapist, which was verifiably false. It turned out it was actual collusion to just try and have this guy blocked. His argument there is, can you believe that McConnell was talking about moose piss when this false charade was going on? It's amazing to me.
Like, extraordinary.
Do you think people on the left, this is my question, do you think they actually think that Kavanaugh is a gang rapist still?
Of course, I think so.
You think they believe that?
I really do. I think.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious. I think that
we can't paint them all with a brush of
No. But some of them, I would say, the people that were against it are saying, no, he's still a rapist on the court. I think that's they keep referring back to him as though that story is still true. Yeah. Like we didn't find out this was all false. Like they just paused on that story.
It's remarkable.
Wasn't the Blasey Ford thing that he like grabbed her and then fell asleep?
Something like
I don't
that.
remember the whole
Her thing was like he tried to rape her, but he didn't. But then other people were like, this is when it was Me Too. Quite literally was like, Me Too. Well, what happened with you? He ran a train on me with guys in Illuminati masks. Like, how many? How far can you count?
Well, he may have passed me a drink at some point.
Maybe, I don't know. And the only reason, oh my God, I've started keeping a diary since. The only reason the guy was not indicted was because he had kept a diary like Doug for his entire life, and there was enough evidence of the diary being verified in other instances from outside events and accounts. Who would have thought that he was saved by a diary?
Yeah, exactly. You mean there wasn't a page in there that says ran a train on poor unsuspecting woman tonight while the fun had some beers after? There wasn't like that entry.
And you know what? Typically a serial killer like a Jeffrey, I know people say, well, some of them have kept diaries. First off, I cannot verify that, but I assume they only do it so they can read back their crimes with that thrill. They weren't like ate smoked salmon today.
Yeah.
Wasn't as good as last week. Might try a new place Tuesday. You know what I mean? So it was like, I ate a guy's face and I was erect. Like, that's what you get like dumber. Whereas Kavanaugh, it was just riddled with like, we had a party today. I met a cheerleader. If I'm lucky, she may let me hold her hand. Yeah. And it's like, omitted from all of this is gang rape.
Yeah, serial gang rapist.
So I don't know if John Oliver believes it, but if he does, then you can't trust anything he says because he can't be bothered hiring a researcher because COVID takes its toll on everybody. everybody.
It does.
It does, yeah.
And by the way, as far as the precedents, precedent, I think both would apply in this instance. The Senate didn't hold public confirmation hearings for the first 127 years.
Yeah.
This is a very new thing. And again, the case could be made that, yeah, you know what? We thought, hey, a public hearing might be, until you falsely accused a man of gang rape.
Yeah.
The most, yeah. And
It's
again,
like, oh, you get your privileges taken away now. No. You didn't finish your dinner, so you don't get your dessert. No. You don't get any more public hearings when you fabricate stories of gang rape.
Right.
the most boring, straight-laced guy in the world, gang rapist.
Yeah, it's like,
Because he likes beer.
I feel like they
exactly.
overshot. Yeah.
That's how you know it's not true. When like, hey, are you a gang rapist? No, I'm not. Do you drink beer on Tuesdays?
Look, I like beer.
I have a
still like
follow-up.
beer.
What does that mean, Booker? I have no idea.
I like beer. He was a little vocal on that one.
He's like, I'm not going to back down from this. I like beer.
You should get
But there is a
sponsored.
silver lining here.
There is.
Many Democrats have already said that they're going to boycott the hearings and they have no interest in meeting with ACB.
Well, that's their job.
Your wishes are command.
Oh, okay. Bye.
You don't need to show up,
Yeah. We don't
and
need
especially
you.
not if you're going to accuse her of gang rape.
What's your relationship
gosh.
like with alcohol?
And by the way, this is something else. Another reason that obviously we don't need to host these public hearings.
Yeah.
She's already been with Barrett. This isn't the case with all nominees. It was 2017. I want to make sure I get that date right. Yeah, 2017 when she was confirmed to the Seventh Circuit, and she went through incredibly lengthy hearings.
Yeah.
For a very. I'm about to be redundant. Incredibly lengthy hearings for a very long period of time.
It was crazy.
They were lengthy. It was take what you would normally think is an average duration, and it was more than that.
It was hugely more.
But lengthy public hearings. So this stuff has already been done, and we'll get to the only arguments they have left for those who are Mug Club members, which are actually hysterical. I didn't know that adopting
bad.
black children made one a racist.
It really does.
It's a
But
colonizer.
My eyes have been opened
yeah.
now.
You should not do it. I know you've been thinking about it. Don't do it.
It's a bad thing.
And then the only I don't know. So you are Mexican.
Yes.
We knew.
Whoa.
The only other
to your
argument
voice.
that Oliver really makes, again in a 20-minute video, I encourage you watch all of it, then come back and fact check me. Tell me if I'm being dishonest. It was really hard to find anything substantial. The only other argument that he makes is that America has a problem with deeply undemocratic institutions. Here you go.
There is a whole system underneath them that has enabled them to do what they have done. And that brings us to the second major factor that got us to where we are now, the deeply undemocratic nature of America's institutions. And that has led some to suggest taking the more dramatic step of expanding the Supreme Court by adding justices. There are some other steps we could take that should be impossible to argue with at this point. Steps that would make both the Senate and White House more representative of the electorate. On the Senate side, you could grant statehood to Washington, D.C. and, if voters there want it, Puerto Rico. We have to get rid of the Electoral College, which might sound radical, but it really isn't. It's not even a new idea.
No, court packing, adding Puerto Rico and abolishing the Electoral College sounds like the pottery. Mr. Pottery sounds like the party of moderates.
Yeah.
This is absolutely, when people say, oh, hold on a second, when you talk, there's common ground. Where are you going to find common ground with a guy who believes that we need to abolish the Electoral College, pack the Supreme Court, and fundamentally change? He hasn't watched Schoolhouse Rock. He doesn't understand the three branches of government. What are the three branches? Can everyone name them? Executive, judicial,
Judiciary.
Retributive.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
But the point is, the presidency and the House, the Senate, these are meant to be more fluid. That's why they change. They haven't been very fluid because the Senate majority has been expanded for, I believe, the last 3 midterms, and that's why she's going to be confirmed, you dip poops. So,
Got him.
I'm trying to clean it
Got
up.
him, yeah. That was
Nailed
good.
him.
Good.
That was
Queen
good.
show.
Nailed him. It's about,
I like it, yeah.
it's about as sharp as his points.
Right. I think I can boil down his Supreme Court nomination argument. We don't like the people that you're putting on the court, and so we're just going to add enough people
We're just
into
gonna add more.
our opinion. Well, hold on, but then it goes back. Well, okay, well then let's play by those rules. Well, we don't like what you've done, so we'll just we're going to have 700 people in the Supreme Court at some point because they're just going to keep adding until you get the majority you want.
And just because it's not a new idea doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Right.
There are lots of
Exactly.
old ideas that are very bad.
This is not
been
something
hanging around
that has
for a
been
while.
mainstream in the Republican Party at all.
Yeah.
When you talk about people who want to erode trust in institutions, do you realize that if, let's assume libraries were still around, they're not because, they still use Bing. But if you could go to a library, let's say, for some reason, some nuclear holocaust, all of your iPhones, or they just got infected from all the pornography that 16-year-olds are watching now, it's very disheartening. If you could go to a library and say, hey, I want to check American history.
Yeah.
Let's say, oh, okay, yeah, I would like to know about the Democratic Party in the 21st century and the filibuster. Was it the Democrats who were pro or anti-filibuster? Hold on a second. Depend which year. No, wait, I'm sorry. Which quarter? It's
really
not even
depends.
close. We're for it, we're against it, we're for it, we're against it. No mainstream Republican movement has included court packing.
No.
As long as I have been around. This is what happens right now. Same with the Electoral College. Now they're kind of becoming one note and that they just want to do away with it. But they don't understand the fundamental roles of government. You elect a president every 4 years, or re-elect a president. You have elections on senates and members of the on the senators and members of the House. The court is a permanent position.
Yeah.
That's something that people, it's not meant to change because it's meant to be a check against fluid other forms of government. That is also why this isn't hard to understand. I don't know why Republicans have been making the wrong argument where they're talking about it. Well, it's different because an election year and Merrick Garland. Okay, no. Look, this is really simple. Okay. Did Barack Obama nominate a Supreme Court justice? Yes, Merrick Garland. Did the Senate confirm it? No, it was a Republican Senate. Okay. Did Donald Trump nominate a Supreme Court justice? Yes. Can the Senate confirm it? Yes, Republican Senate. It's that simple. Yeah. They both have authority. Obama used his authority to nominate. The Senate used its authority to reject. Yeah. Donald Trump is using his authority to nominate. The Senate is going to use their authority to make your life a living hell.
Right. And the people have already spoken on this. That's the argument being used right now. The people need to have the voice in this. They did. In 2016, they voted for a president. In 2018, they kept the majority of the Senate in his party.
Right.
And that was supposed to be 4 years. And that was supposed to be for them that 2-year period until we have another election.
Right.
They've already spoken. It's like getting halfway there and going, well, we don't like what you said previously. We want to wait and see if you change your mind in the future.
And Joe Biden said something about like that we have to do this. We have to wait to appoint somebody so that we can preserve the democracy. But the Supreme Court is not a democratic institution.
Well, he also said this never happened before in the history of our country.
Not true at all.
Not true at all.
It would happen every time.
Oh. Oh, well.
Which time? All of them. You can go back 180 years, right? Rip Van Winkle, why don't you tell me?
Including in your term as vice president, you moron. It wasn't that long ago.
That's not something I've ever heard of. We know. We know that, Joe.
Yeah.
It's happened every time, but it hasn't always been confirmed, especially when it's a split government. When it's not a split government, okay, it happens. It's just remarkable to me when people try and all of a sudden act like they are legal. I'm not a legal scholar. I can just go through okay. Did a president nominate a Supreme Court justice in an election? Yeah, okay. Was it confirmed? Oh, no, almost all the times.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. When this happened, I was like, okay, that's a valid argument. Let's see if that's true.
I should just collect another 6-figure paycheck from Oliver or CNN because I could do the fact checking that they refuse to do.
You could be their entire department.
But then I'd have to pay taxes. As a business owner, I leave the bill to you.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.